What's up guys, Mickle here, and in this video we're going to be talking about the collapse of the dollar and some Ripple connections that I have never seen before. In this video, I want to share with you a clip that only has 200 views right now, breaking down some absolutely insane Ripple connections to some of the largest financial institutions in the entire world. Guys, I have been saying on this channel forever now, Ripple's connections run so much deeper than many of us understand. In this video, I want to show you a clip that's going to break that down perfectly. This is something you are not going to want to miss. Like always, guys, your support means so much to this channel. If you enjoy these videos, make sure to take a quick second to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It's really going to help me out so much. Also, if you guys ever need a good place to buy some XRP or the Flare token, make sure to check out my favorite exchange Uphold down in the description of this video. With that said though, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So I want to start out this video and talk about the collapse of the dollar. Now this is something that is being talked about all over the place right now. Me personally, I actually don't think it's realistic that the dollar is going to be going anywhere anytime soon. I think we are going to be living in a world for a while now that is controlled by the US dollar, and I really don't think we're going to have something like XRP replace the dollar. What I do think is going to happen is I think it's very probable the dollar is going to be moved on rails in the future like the XRP ledger, and there are going to be versions of the US dollar built on the XRP ledger, but I don't think there's any kind of world in the future where you're going to have your grandma going to the store and buying things in XRP. Now with that said, something that I do think is going to happen is I think we could see a massive drop in the dollar. As you can see by the chart on the screen right now, a couple months ago, we were in a time of peak fear. We had all these recession worries, we had banks collapsing, we had inflation ripping, and the dollar went up on a parabolic rise. People were hiding from assets, people were hiding from the markets, and ran to dollars. This is always what happens in a recession. But now what we are seeing is the probability of a recession as stated by the major banks in the United States. We're actually seeing the chance of a recession dropping dramatically. Most of the major banks have decreased their chance of a recession from 75% to 25%. And in that time, we have also watched inflation go from 11% to the low 4% range. Because of this, a lot of the fears around the economy are really going away. So what I am expecting to see, and this would be massively bullish for cryptocurrencies and stocks in general, is for the dollar to drop back down to where it was pre-COVID. Now, I have a feeling in the long term, the dollar is going a lot lower, but this would be an excellent sign for risk assets in general, like cryptocurrencies, that there is strength coming back into the market. In order for people to start putting their money back in cryptocurrencies and assets, we need to see that money come from somewhere, and the place it almost always comes from is the US dollar. This chart to me actually looks extremely weak. It looks like the dollar had some massive rally, it fell, it's capitulating, and to me, it makes a lot more sense that the dollar would be making another leg down. Now, this isn't just me looking at this chart and taking that guess. My thesis is that because the economy is looking so much better than it was a couple months ago, people are going to be looking at the markets, looking at cryptocurrencies right now and saying, oh wait, we're not going into some event where banks are going to collapse. We're not going into an event where there's going to be mass unemployment, and we're not going into an event where people are going to have to spend their entire paycheck just trying to survive and not be able to buy cryptocurrencies. Instead, what I'm seeing is a lot more people are actually optimistic on the market. We see institutions flowing into the cryptocurrency asset class, and I think this could lead to a brand new bull run in both the traditional asset markets and the cryptocurrency market. Because of that, I'm expecting the dollar to make a pretty big leg down here and cause a lot more money to flow back into assets and cause us to go on a brand new bull run in the cryptocurrency market. Now, like I said, I don't think this has anything to do with the dollar necessarily collapsing and going away. I think it's a lot more probable that the dollar is going to be around for a very long time, and I think XRP is going to be a critical technology in actually preserving the dollar in the long run. Either way though, I really just wanted to show you this chart and kind of differentiate my thoughts between the dollar weakening and the dollar collapsing. Ultimately, a lot of the narrative I see going around is that the dollar is collapsing and going away. I just don't see any evidence in that. I do see issues in the future. I do see de-dollarization happening, but I don't think that's going to happen overnight. And I actually think the dollar is still going to be an important part in any future we go into. And rather than it going away, it just might go from its, say, 60% dominance to maybe 40% dominance. dominance. Either way, let's see how it all plays out. I do think the dollar is going to weaken in the short term, and the main reason I really call that out is because that is what we need in order for asset prices to start going up again. So now I want to move on and talk about some Ripple connections that I have never seen before, and this kind of stuff is getting me really excited as of recent because we are almost at the end of the Ripple SEC case, and something I have been saying for a while now is that when this case ends, we are going to see Ripple announce partnerships that are going to blow our minds. I personally have a feeling that over the past couple years, Ripple has been forced to be ultra conservative with their announcements because ultimately they're not going to want to announce anything that's going to increase the price of XRP. One of the SEC's main charges in this case is that when Ripple makes an announcement, the price of XRP increases and therefore XRP is a security. It's only logical if you look at that argument to understand that Ripple needs to be careful on what they announce. Ripple clearly doesn't want to announce something, say for example, hey, we're working with the Federal Reserve and the Federal Reserve is using XRP, because that would skyrocket the price of XRP and only give the SEC a valid point in their case. Because of that, I think Ripple has been holding back a ton of announcements that we're going to be finding out about very soon. And I just wanted to show you this video because I think it's going to connect a lot of dots in the exact type of announcements I'm talking about.
I just thought I'd stop in and show you all something real fast. See this right here? FNA, 208 views 2 weeks ago. Interesting. FNA is a trusted organization by the world's largest central banks, government authorities, commercial banks, and financial infrastructures. Oh, would you look at that? Look at all those interesting market participants right there. They can't all be systematically important, right? I don't know. Check this out. Look at that. Whoa. What's that right there? Must be there by accident. I don't know. Department of Treasury, Department of Defense, Payments Canada, FNA. FNA, what? Central Bank Training. Oversight and Innovation in Payments and Settlements. Interesting. Okay. Whoa. What? Ripple used FNA to simulate the liquidity needs of banks interacting over a network over time, and made it possible to determine the required liquidity flows within a hub bank to support the projected network volumes and values and to justify the benefits of the new service network. What does that say right there? Interledger protocol. Interesting.
So I thought that video was absolutely fascinating, and I wanted to start off and just take a look at some of the people FNA was working with. Now, this list is extremely impressive, and I want to point out something else about this list because I think it's really going to open your eyes to something. The Bank of England, obviously a massive bank and one of Ripple's first partners. The Monetary Authority of Singapore, another massive bank and also happens to be a Ripple partner. The Hong Kong Monetary Authority, well, we just learned Ripple is now working with them. Then we have the Bank of International Settlements. We have seen Ripple pop up with them all the time. The Bank of Colombia, we saw a connection between Ripple and them. The U.S. Department of Treasury, well, that brings me back to Rosie Rios and a lot of Ripple's other board members. Then we have CME Group, another person who's been linked to Ripple, Swift, and HSBC, another Ripple partner. So what we see right here is that this group is working with some of the biggest institutions in the entire world, and they all happen to be Ripple partners, which is just a shocking connection in itself. But the other thing that really stood out to me was the fact that one of the objectives was to simulate liquidity needs for banks in a future financial system using Ripple and XRP. Guys, to me, this sounds like something the XRP community has been talking about forever now, but something we have been continually shot down on. And that is testing what XRP's price needs to be to cover the liquidity needs of the current financial system. I mean, I can't think of it any other way. It pretty much says right here they are trying to figure out required liquidity, and liquidity really is just a two-part equation. You have the total amount of XRP you would need times the price, and that would give you the liquidity. Well, we already know the amount of XRP out there. I think there's only like 2 to 3 billion left on exchanges, so the only other part of the equation is what would XRP's price need to be to cover this liquidity? So it seems like to me what we have is some of these massive financial institutions literally the biggest financial institutions in the entire world, testing XRP to see what XRP's price would need to be to cover their liquidity needs. Now, I want to make one thing clear. Every single one of these institutions is going to have multiple different technologies they use for payment and settlement. But what we're talking about is hundreds of trillions, if not quadrillions of dollars a year. If XRP can even capture a fraction of this payment volume, it is going to do absolutely insane things for the price of XRP. And it's not like we're just randomly throwing XRP into the equation. They are literally telling us right here that they are testing with it. And it just so happens that not only are they testing with it, but half these people happen to already be Ripple partners. Anyway, guys, I thought this was extremely interesting. When I watched this video, it definitely perked my interest, and it really just tied a bunch of things in together that we have been watching play out over the past couple years. Ultimately, like I said in the beginning of the video, I am so excited to see the type of announcements Ripple has coming for us once this case is over. I have a feeling a lot of what we heard in this video is true. It is happening behind the scenes. It's just a matter of time before Ripple can tell us. They are not going to make these announcements before they're ready. These partners are not going to want these things announced before they are ready. It's only a matter of time, and I think we're a lot closer than many people expect. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does mean so much. And for now, Mickle out.